Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of Zero to Hero, full stack plus VoIP plus AI engineer. I'm Siddhant Kumar, full stack VoIP and AI engineer working professionally since 2021. In episode 7 through 9, we run Docker Compose, wrote Docker dash compose.yml from scratch and built our Flask app.py from zero. But today we are going to the heart of containerization, writing a Docker file from scratch. And because Docker files are so important and so often misunderstood, this episode is just the beginning. Today, we will write our first Docker file together step by step. Then, I will introduce you to our Docker File Zero to Hero course series, 5 focused episodes that will take you from what is a Docker file to I can write production grade container configs for any language. By the end of this video, you will know how to write a basic Docker file for a Python Flask app, what each Dockerfile introduction means and why it's matter, how Docker layers work and why order effects build speed, the roadmap for mastering Docker files across languages and use cases. Let's build our container blueprint. Before we start typing, let me explain why writing your own Docker file matters. Think of Dockerfile like cooking. Pre-built images are like takeout. Convenient, but you don't control the ingredients. Writing your own Docker file is like cooking from scratch. You choose every ingredient, every step, and you know exactly what's going into your dish. Here's what we will learn to control from your base ingredients, the foundation of your container. Work dir, the kitchen counter where you prepare everything. Copy, adding your recipe and ingredients to the kitchen. Run, the actual cooking, installing dependencies, building code. Expose, opening the window so guests can smell and access your dish. CMD, serving the meal, the command that runs when the container starts. Without understanding these, you are just reheating someone else's meal with them. You are the chef, in complete control of flavor, portion, and presentation. So let's start cooking. First, open your existing Docker file in the episode 7 Docker Compose directory. Press Ctrl A to select all, then press Delete to clear everything. We are starting from zero, just like you would on a new project. Now type the first line from space Python is to 3.12 dash slim. Press enter, press enter. This tells Docker start with the official Python 3.12 slim image. The slim variant is smaller and more secure than the full image, a best practice for production. Next, set your working directory inside the container. Type workdir /app. Press enter, press enter. This creates, if needed, and changes to the /app directory inside the container. Why /app? It's a convention, clean, predictable, and separates your code from system files. Now copy your dependencies file. Type copy space requirements.txt space dot. Press enter. Notice the dot at the end. That means copy to the current directory, which is /app because of workdir. Why copy requirements.txt first? Because Docker caches layers. If your dependencies don't change, Docker reuse this layer, speeding up future builds dramatically. Now install Python packages. Type run space pip space install space dash dash no dash catch dash dir space dash r space requirements dot txt. Press enter. The dash dash no dash catch dash dir flag keeps the image smaller by not storing pip's cache. This run command executes during build time, so your dependencies are backed into the image. Now copy your actual application code. Type copy in capital space dot press enter. Press enter. This copies everything from your local project directory into the containers slash app directory. We do this after installing dependencies so that code changes don't invalidate the dependency installation layer. Next, document which port your app uses. Type expose in capital space 8000. Press enter. This doesn't actually publish the port. It's documentation for humans and tools. Docker Compose or Docker space run space dash p handles the actual port mappings. Finally, tell Docker how to start your app. Type cmd in capital space in square bracket under code. Type Python, then comma under code app.py. Notice the JSON array format. This is the access form which properly handles signals like Control C. This command runs when the container starts launching your Flask app. Let's verify our file looks correct. Save the file, then in your terminal run docker-compose space up space dash dash build. Watch the output. Docker should build the image and start all services. Test with curl http address. You should see the JSON response with database and Redis connections working. If you get errors, check your indentation and syntax. Docker files are strict about formatting. Now that we have written our first Docker file, let me introduce you to what's coming next. Docker files are powerful, but there's so much to learn. That's why I will create a video series for Docker Zero to Hero learning. 5 focus episodes to take you from beginner to production expert. Here's the roadmap. Episode 10.1 Foundation. What you just learned from WORKDIR, copy, run, expose, CMD, plus understanding layers, build context, and basic debugging. In episode 10.2, real world builds, multi-stage builds to shrink images, caching, strategies to speed up CI, volumes for development, networking between containers, and health checks for reliability. In episode 10.3, Advanced Techniques, Build Kits, Secrets for Secure Builds, Multi-Platform Builds for AMD 64 and ARM 64, distroless and scratch images for minimal attack surface, and language-specific patterns for Node.js, Python, Go, and Java. In episode 10.4 Security, scanning images with Tree and Sync, dropping Linux capabilities, enforcing read-only file systems, and linting Docker files with Hadolint to catch issues before deployment. In episode 10.5, CI or CD and production, automated builds in GitHub Actions, pushing to ECR or GCR or GHCR, immutable tagging with Git SHAS, and deploying to Kubernetes with confidence. Each episode includes hands-on labs, real-world examples, and production-ready patterns. This isn't just theory, it's the exact workflow used by engineering teams at top companies. Let's recap what we learned today. Cleared existing Docker file and started from scratch. Wrote a complete Docker file for a Python Flask app with proper structure. Understood each instructions from WORKDIR, copy, run, expose, CMD. Learned layer caching strategy, dependencies between code for faster builds. Tested the complete setup with Docker dash compose space up space dash dash build. Introduce the Dockerfile Zero to Hero series roadmap. Episode 10.1 to 10.5 outlined hands-on projects for each phase of the series. You now have the foundation to write Docker files and a clear path to master them from any language or use cases. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Hero Stack Academy and hit the bell icon. Next episode will drop soon. This course is 100% free. If it adds value, consider supporting by becoming GitHub sponsors. Join our Discord to connect, ask questions, and share progress. I'm Siddhant Kumar, full stack, VoIP, and AI engineer since 2021. This course is my passion project to help you master enterprise grade skills through hands on learning. Connect with me on LinkedIn, GitHub, or email. All links are in the description below. Drop a comment, Docker file written if you built your from scratch. Thank you for watching. See you in next episode. Happy coding.